Hello and welcome back to the Christine Menotti Bullwinkle Arena and Convocation Center. As I'm Thomas Harrison, alongside me for the second half of our men's-women's doubleheader is once again Kyle Cashdollar. So we bring you all of the action here from the Reagan as the men look to win their fourth out of their last five, as this team has really caught fire as of late. This Spalding team has won 7-3 in the SLIAC, one of the top dogs, and this Eureka team is looking to knock them off, as the Red Devils here love playing here in the Reagan on their home court. Spalding won the first matchup 88-80 on December 1st. But Kyle, I really think that was before this Red Devil team turned the corner. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how this team managed to turn that corner?
Yeah, they've really utilized their athleticism. Just playing as a team, really, you don't see one guy just taking over the ball the entire time. Really utilize all five guys on the court, and as you said, it seems they're turning a corner here.
Yeah, this Red Devil team, all five of these starters, very athletic, will push the ball in transition. I would say 4 of the 5 are knockdown shooters from the perimeter. Alex Wiegand has a nice mid-range, but he's really the interior defender, the rebounder. Certainly one of the more athletic big men in the conference, as you'll see him fly down the floor. You can see him jump out of this gym if he wants to. But in Dame, Thomas, Juergens, and Bennington, you have 4 knockdown shooters on the perimeter. Coming into the season, people really expected it to kind of just be Bennington and Thomas as those guys people consider elite shooters. But we have seen Dame catch fire. We have seen Juergens catch fire from the perimeter. And now all of these guys are guys you can't afford to give even a foot to on the perimeter, as at times they've all shown they can show flashes of being that elite shooter.
Yeah, and you love to see guys that were maybe considered the secondary options early on in the year really start to catch fire, and they're just as dominant as the main guys.
Certainly exciting to watch, as you will see them play a lot of meaningful minutes here. That last home contest against McMurray, who we saw, the Eureka Red Devils just put it on McMurray from start to finish. 48-point lead at halftime. At one point it was 32-4, and it was just exciting to watch this team get excited and play to their full potential. This is a team that has seen so much success in the past, as they're looking to once again get back to that conference tournament and make a big push here late in the season. As we get these starting lineups for the Spalding Golden Eagles, number 2, a 6'1" guard, Dominique Ellis. Number 3, a 5'10" guard, Marcus Montgomery. Number 11, a 5'10" guard, Robert Bendingfield. Number 25, at 6'6", a big man down low, Troy Aminer. And rounding it out for Spalding, also at 6'6", a forward, number 45, Brendan Holt. Something interesting to me, Kyle, when we talk about the styles of recruiting of teams in the SLIAC, a very diverse conference in terms of what you get, the areas that you get. The Red Devils here, a lot of their recruiting, they focus on the greater Peoria area. You talk about coaches really just try to build the wall around the area, not let recruits get out. For Spalding, they're in Louisville, of course, in a bigger city. 4 of their 5 starters are from Louisville. Obviously, a basketball hotbed. You see a lot of universities right there. And Spalding doing a good job of getting some guys who maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe they don't have the size. Maybe there's one skill that sets them back from going to a Division I program or somewhere greater in the area. They can keep those guys in Louisville, bring them to Spalding, and have a lot of talent coming out of the city. As here the Red Devils starters get announced, nothing unusual here, as we will see number 30, the 6'6" forward, Jordan Dame. Number 11, the 6'4" guard, Austin Juergens. Number 12, an exciting player to watch, will certainly light up the stat sheet and be all over the highlight reel, 6'3", Dakota Bennington. Alongside him, running the guard duties, Hank Thomas, a 5'8" senior guard out of Peoria. This Red Devil team certainly one poised to have a lot of excitement right now, as the big man in the middle will be number 14, 6'4" senior Alex Wiegand, who skies and wins that opening tip. Now Hank Thomas will run the point guard duties for the Red Devils. We see a lot of motion here coming out of the break. Jordan Dame getting it to him down low. That shot no good. The rebound to Bennington, unable to get that one to fall, however. It's now for Spalding. Robert Bendingfield will run the point guard duties. Guarded out top by Wiegand. As a definite size advantage goes to Wiegand, but Bendingfield looks to be a very athletic guard. See how Wiegand can fare guarding him on the outside as they dish that one off to Brendan Holt to open up the scoring here as he gets the long two to fall. This Red Devil team certainly looking to control the pace of play. Juergens there with a step back three. Off the backboard, rattles around, no good. Rebounded there by Dominique Ellis. Robert Benningfield looking to set up the offense. We see a lot of screening down low for Spalding, and it certainly looks like they're trying to take advantage of their 2 6'6" big men down low. Bennington right there, skies for the rebound, but tipped out of bounds by Dominique Ellis. The Red Devils will regain possession. Dame inbounds the ball to Hank Thomas, and Dame gets it right back at the top of the key. Is that lob down low to Jordan Dame? Just missed that one as it came up just short. And now Spalding looking to fly to the other end. Dominique Ellis will kick that one back in the corner to Robert Bendingfield, who puts that one up, rebounded by Alex Wiegand. Both of these teams looking to fly around the floor. We could see a lot of running and gunning here throughout the contest. Hank Thomas' first shot attempt, no good. Rebounded by Marcus Montgomery.
Red Devils aren't getting bad looks here. It's just unfortunate, haven't gotten anything to fall yet.
Yeah, certainly this Red Devil team will score in bunches. Seems like as soon as one guy gets it to fall, everyone wants to jump in on the action, and you see everyone really pouring it in at once. Spalding able to extend this possession here, but it didn't hit the rim. The shot clock now at 5. That shot attempt partially blocked there by Juergens and rebounded by Dame, who will throw this one over the top to Hank Thomas. Give it to Bennington trying to drive down low. The no-look pass to Wiegand. Nice find there. A dime from Dakota Bennington, and Wiegand kicks off the scoring for the Red Devils. Now Spalding looking for an answer of their own as Dominique Ellis guarded by Hank Thomas. He will swing it back around to number 11, Robert Bendingfield. He puts that one up, no good. Rebounded by Bennington and fouled there by Spalding. As you can certainly see, the Red Devils coming out with a lot of intensity and excitement right here. The pure athleticism. This not a huge team in terms of height, but this team will sky for a lot of rebounds. They will fly up and over you to grab those boards. Now Juergens looking to drive down low. A nice move right there, head fake. Just can't get that one to fall as he made 2 men miss right there and got to the basket. Ellis giving the ball to Bendingfield, looking to reset here as he looks to pass that one to Dominique Ellis. And Ellis just lets that one roll out of bounds. And you see the frustration already mounting here for Spalding. So you can tell this looks like a team that typically comes out and runs all over opponents, flies up and down the floor. But this Red Devil team is certainly not going to find any mismatches athletically. Now Dame drives baseline, kicks that one out to Hank Thomas, thought about it. He'll now get that one to Bennington. Bennington's first three-point attempt, no good. He hit the floor, but there is no call. Rebounded by Bendingfield. Now Bennington will put up the free throw line jumper, no good. Rebounded by Bennington. Just 2-2 here in the contest, 16-20 and ticking here in the first half. Benningfield puts on a couple moves there, as now Spalding looks to answer right there. That shot up and good. 4-2 for Spalding. So they'll go inside to Wiegand, look to hand that one on the baseline to Juergens. The nice reverse puts that one in to tie this game right back up at 4.
Yeah, that's a couple of great passes right there by the Red Devils. Love to see getting inside, and the layups are always good.
You see there, it looked like Dakota Bennington was really forcing the defenders to stay at home. You know he's a great shooter. You know he's an athletic guy. His defender had to stay on him, couldn't go help side on Juergens. Now the long two will fall for Brendan Holt. And now both teams going back and forth. Now Jurgens finds Wiegand. The court vision right now by these guards is incredible. As you see, they are driving, just drawing the attention. He dishes that one off to Wiegand for an easy 2. Wiegand was behind him, but Jurgens knew exactly where he was going to be, and that is when a team is meshing, firing on all cylinders. When you can predict where your teammates are going to be for that open pass, it's a fun thing to watch. As their number 25, Troy Aminer, fights for that bucket down low, 8-6 Spalding. Hank Thomas forced to pick up that dribble, finds Dame. Dame hesitates, gets it back to Thomas, pump fake. He takes one step in, a long floater, no good, but that one will be rebounded by Bennington. Puts that up and in, ties this game right back as both teams are just trading punches right here, 8-8, 14-30 in the first half.
And that 2 points right there, that's all Bennington. That's pure hustle, great job offensively.
As Montgomery there almost lost his dribble, but he will give the ball back to Benningfield. Still guarded by Wiegand. Interesting choice in the matchup here by head coach Chip Wilde, having Wiegand on the primary ball handler. Now Dakota Bennington comes up with that rebound, tries to go full court to Alex Wiegand, just out of his reach. That'll be a turnover for the Red Devils, as we will see the first substitutions of the contest, as Jacob Koch and number 0, Keith Wallace, will check into the contest for the Golden Eagles. We're all tied up at 8:14 minutes on the first half game clock. So now Montgomery has the ball. He is looking to go to Keith Wallace in the corner. Keith Wallace checks in and immediately puts up a shot. Nice job by Wiegand there. Knew he couldn't get the rebound, but tips it to his teammate, and Dakota Bennington comes up with that one. Now Hank Thomas will pass that one off to Dame. They will call Dame for the travel. Something that Hank Thomas does incredibly well is when he drives and kicks the ball, he still uses his body to clear that lane, and he takes a man with him. It's really kind of a way to get away with a moving screen, if you will. Just pass and use your momentum to take the defender with you.
Yeah, you really see the same thing in the NFL, really. It's technically illegal, but it never gets called.
It's right there. Dakota Bennington with another rebound, just lighting up the rebound column on the stat sheet as Jordan Dame thought about the 3, hesitated. Now he will try to get to the basket. Uses the physicality there, lowers the shoulder, and puts that one up. He is fouled by Keith Wallace, and Dame will head to the free throw line for Eureka's first 2 free throw attempts of the contest. It's Eureka College Red Devil team coming into the game shooting 77% from the free throw line. Dame unfortunately not able to make that first one. But when this team is winning ball games, when this team is really playing to their full potential, you will notice the shooting percentages are unreal. And of course, it's easy to say, well, yeah, anyone who's winning games, they're probably going to be shooting a high percentage. But this Red Devil team will come out and shoot 70% from the floor in some contests. So now Wiegand will guard Dominique Ellis at the top of the key. Spalding trying to find the open man, but the Red Devil defense is really playing a tight man defense right here. So now they're forced to reset with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Really forced to throw up that three-pointer. In the whistle right there, they will call that foul on Dakota Bennington. Marcus Montgomery went up, put up that 3, just absolutely forced the shot. And you saw he flailed the legs everywhere, came down. Really, I don't know if anyone got a piece of him, but he hit the floor, and the referee makes the call.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's pretty clearly a phantom call.
The first free throw attempt is no good for Marcus Montgomery. So he misses the second one as well. You get to line for 3 free throws no matter what point in the game. You have to make them count, and right now Montgomery is struggling, and you can see the frustration on his face. So he finally knocks down the third. 1 of 3 from the line there for Montgomery, and he will check out of the contest, and Stephen Gordon will take over. It's now Hank Thomas will start the possession for the Red Devils. They give it to Dakota Bennington, looking for Wiegand backdoor. Jurgens, pardon me, but well defended by Spalding. Hank Thomas with the ball fake, tries to get to the basket. That one tipped out of bounds, and it will remain Red Devil basketball. Running the box set out of the inbound here. They give to Dakota Bennington. Lowers the shoulder, makes a couple men miss. The physical bucket right there, and the Red Devils have their first lead of the game, 10-9.
Great display of balance there by Bennington. Able to still get the shot up, although falling backwards and to his left.
Now Spalding, the charge right there. Jordan Dame stepped up, made the big play right there. Sometimes you see people shy away from contact, is right there. He knew it was coming. He took it and did what it takes to get his team the ball back here. Kyle, like we talked about, this team, when they turned the corner, you really started to see that intensity, that fire that we didn't see early going in the season. You can see, especially on a call like that, when a guy takes a charge, it's one of those special moments in basketball. You see the bench get fired up. You see everybody's into it because it's such a selfless play. You're putting your body on the line for your team. And right there, Dame takes over offensively. He drives all the way around the key, puts that in with the left, and he'll head to the free throw line for a chance at an and one. 12-9 here. The Red Devils are up, looking to extend the lead to 4. Now Marcus Montgomery will check back into the contest for Spalding, and Dominique Ellis will take a seat. Dame's free throw attempt just short off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Spalding. Now trying to work down low. Again, good help defense there by the Red Devils. They kick it out to Montgomery. His three long, no good. The rebound fought for by Wiegand. The athleticism it takes right there for a big man to straddle the baseline, throw it back in to his teammate. Great job there by Alex Wiegand. He gets rewarded on the other end with a great pass from Bennington. And Wiegand lays that one in on the reverse. And now Spalding right here. Hank Thomas guarding the inbound right there. A mental error by Brendan Holt as he steps over the line. A turnover, and the ball heads right back to the Red Devils. Again, you see the intensity right here. This team is fired up. Everyone on the bench is fired up. Fun to see for this Red Devil squad. Dropped the first meeting this season, 88-80. Certainly don't want a remake of that contest here tonight. The high arcing inbound to Dakota Bennington. No good. Rebounded by Spalding. 14-9 here, Eureka. 11:30 and ticking. So now they try to work the ball down low. Lost the dribble momentarily. Dame goes straight up. Good job of not fouling right there. Gets the rebound. Hank Thomas has the ball poked away. And Bendingfield will get what he thought was an easy two, but Bennington skies for the block, pins that one on the backboard, and the Red Devils get that one back.
This is a great run right now for the Red Devils on both sides of the ball, and you can see the frustrations are mounting for Spalding.
Bendingfield right there. I was ready to cash that one in myself as an easy two, and Dakota Bennington comes flying, pins that one on the backboard, got it back for the Red Devils. Unfortunately, they were unable to convert on the other end, but right now the momentum is all on the side of the Red Devils.
Yeah, you always got to know who's on the court with you, and with Bennington on the court, you got to know that's always a possibility.
Just came flying out of nowhere. Big play there by Bennington. Now Jordan Dame will give him the ball. Some isolation here with Bennington. Tries to drive, head fake, the backdoor cut to Don Hardaway Jr. They will force a reset here. Dame puts up the three, no good. So Red Devils just unfortunately got too deep in that shot clock there. Had to put up the shot. No good, rebounded by Bendingfield. So they try to go backdoor, that one off of Dakota Bennington, and we will see Eureka's second substitution of the contest, as now Kyle Henderson will check into the game for Dakota Bennington, giving him a quick breather. That inbound right there, and Wiegand comes up with the block on, again, what looked to be an easy two. Eureka doing a great job of defending the rim right now. That three no good, as Spalding looking to shoot their way out of a slump and having no success. As Don Hardaway Jr. gives that one up to Dame. Wiegand on the perimeter. Find Kyle Henderson. Now Dame looks to drive again, tries to split a double team. That one poked out, and there's a 2-on-2 fast break right there as Montgomery is able to get that one to fall. 14-11 here as we are through the halfway point of the first half of action. Don Hardaway Jr. now in the corner looking to get down low to Kyle Henderson, looking to use the body to get some space there as he will be forced to pass it back out to Thomas, and the Red Devils will reset the offense. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Hank Thomas works it back up to Dame on the top. He will be forced to drive, put that one up. He is fouled and will head to the line for two. That foul on number 25, Troy Aminer. He thought it was clean, but it looked like from here he clearly got a piece of the left arm.
Yeah, the defender's always going to think it's clean.
There's certainly a lot of intensity here, especially these conference matchups here at home. Everyone gets into it, everyone gets fired up, and Dame will knock down the first free throw attempt. Dame's second free throw will also fall for the Red Devils. 16-11 here, 9 minutes and counting. Brendan Holt giving him a lot of space on the perimeter. The big man, it looks like he wants to get down low and post up. They have struggled to get him the ball. It's a great job there of switching off of that pick by Don Hardaway Jr. and Kyle Henderson. Dominique Ellis, his shot no good, rebounded by himself, and Spalding will get a second chance at the possession. It's now Montgomery, the long three, again no good. High arcing rebound, looks like two Red Devils were fighting for that one. Lost it, but they get it to Dominique Ellis, who will travel, and another turnover for the Spalding Golden Eagles. Defensively, the showing here for the Red Devils has just been incredible out of the go. Now we're looking to get the ball to Alex Wiegand down low. He's fighting hard to post up. So they have a mismatch that they want to exploit right there as Dominique Ellis is doing everything he can to guard Wiegand. Don Hardaway Jr. hits the floor but is able to tip that one away, and the pass just came in a little bit too hot for Jordan Dame. That'll be out of bounds. (16-11) with 8 minutes in the first half. Now Spalding is trying to get the ball to Montgomery. He's taking a lot of shots, but Don Hardaway Jr. doing a nice job denying that ball on the perimeter. As right there, Dominique Ellis puts a move on, lays that one in for two. Kyle Henderson gets the ball to Jordan Dame. Jordan Dame with a three-point attempt will find the bottom of the net there for the Red Devils, 19-13. As Jordan Dame, a guy, it's really been fun to watch his progression as a basketball player since he has come to Eureka. A junior that has played a lot of minutes in his first 2 seasons at the college. And a guy, when he first came here, for his size, everyone thought, you know, maybe just needs to put a little bit of weight on him. He was more of a perimeter guy. But with his body type and his athleticism, was a guy that everyone saw projected as a guy to be a nice post player, can fight down low, but still be that stretch four type. And Dame has really shown that throughout the course of this season. He can be a primary scoring threat. He can shoot from the outside, but at the same time, when he needs to be physical down low, he can fight for those rebounds. He can fight for position on the block. Very fun to see the progression of a guy like that throughout his college career.
Yeah, he's really the ultimate utility knife, and you can always use one of those.
Right there, as Spalding will knock down the first free throw attempt, we will see Alex Wiegand and Hank Thomas check out of the game, taking a quick breather. As Holt knocks down the pair for the Red Devils, Kyler Stork and Jalen Jose have checked into the contest. As they work down low to Henderson, guarded by Ellis. The double team coming, he spins, gets 2 defenders off the floor. Nice head fake there by Henderson. The body control to retain possession of the ball, but get those defenders off the floor and know as soon as they go up, you just hesitate a little bit. They start to come down. That's when you go up with it. You're going to get that foul call every time. If you get it, if you get the N1 opportunity, that's a bonus, but that's a guaranteed 2 shots every time.
Yeah,
so
it was
knock down the first pair of the free throw.
Great job fighting down there by Henderson. Clearly the shortest guy down there, but was able to do his job and get 2 shots out of it.
Yeah, only a 6'1" forward, but a bigger body. He's a stocky guy who can use that physicality to fight down low. And right there, like you mentioned, Kyle, he looked like he got lost in some trees right there, but he got him in the air. And if you can get the big bodies of Spalding off the floor in foul trouble, it's going to be a big advantage to Eureka. Ellis tries to fight through a screen. Looked like Ellis may have gotten away with the travel there as he was in the air. Looks like he got the pass off just before he landed. But the Red Devils double teaming everything on the perimeter right now. Unfortunately, Jacob Koch was able to leak out right there and get a mid-range 2 to fall. (21-17) Eureka, 6:09 in the first half. The Eureka team has come out playing with a lot of fire. Fun to see as the only starter in the game right now for the Red Devils is Jordan Dame, as they will feed him the ball. The turnaround baseline jumper gets it to fall from the left side. But you see 4 guys coming off the bench and still making an impact for this Red Devil team.
Yeah, it seems like everything Dame is putting up right now is falling. He's got 9 points.
Yeah, a guy that has proven he can be the primary scoring threat for the Red Devils. And at times, you need somebody to step up and just take over the game. And Dame has done that. We saw it in the McMurray game. He caught absolute fire and scored 12 points in a matter of minutes. And right here, 9 points in the first half with 5:30 left in the first half of action. Dame will guard the inbound from Dominique Ellis. They will go to Montgomery in the corner. 16 seconds on the shot clock as Benningfield looking to get to the basket. In the trees down low for the Red Devils there. In Kyler Stork and Jordan Dame were able to alter that one, and it looks like Eureka is not happy about the call there, that it is off of the Red Devils, as Spalding will keep the ball right here. A rebound fought for and corralled by Dominique Ellis, as now he puts up a 3 with just 2 seconds on the shot clock. That one tipped out, and again, Spalding able to extend this possession. Montgomery there with the 3-point attempt. We saw the women struggle with that in the first contest, and it really came back to bite them. If you give a team 3-4 looks at the basket, odds are they're going to get at least 1 shot to fall.
Yeah, and that's, you cannot have that. And ever since maybe 3rd grade, you're taught you cannot give up offensive rebounds, and they really need to clean that up. They've done a good job, really. That's probably their 1st or 2nd offensive rebound sequence that they've given up. So just keep doing that, what they're doing, just box out, get a body on a guy, and go get the rebound.
As Dame gets his first foul of the contest there on a charge, and we will see a line change here for the Red Devils as Wiegand, Juergens, Thomas, and Dakota Bennington check back into the contest. Eureka up 23-20 here, 4:35 on the clock. So we still see Wiegand guarding Ellis. You wonder if head coach Chip Wilde saw something on tape where he likes that matchup, where Wiegand is primarily a guy you put on the other team's biggest post threat, but he is guarding Ellis, a guard out on the perimeter. Now the give and go from Bennington to Dame as they find Wiegand high above the rim. He comes down with that one, puts it in with the reverse. Nice look. And that pass, you put that in a spot where only he can get it. That looked like a jump ball in the corner of the end zone where you knew you just have to trust your guy to go get it, and Wiegand did just that. Spalding getting the play call from the bench here as they are really struggling to work the ball inside. Is that the free throw line jumper by Montgomery? No good. Looked like there could have been an over the back call, but Dame comes down with the rebound regardless. Now Hank Thomas tries to drive to the basket. The shot will be waved off as it appears he was fouled on the drive. Or he will now head to the free throw line as the Red Devils are in the bonus with 3:30 left in the contest. We've seen a couple of quick games tonight, Kyle. fairly clean. Of course, the end of that first game started to take a little bit longer as we saw the foul game come into effect. But both teams here also playing fairly clean games, as 3:30 with a team in the bonus is typical of what you see, if maybe not on the latter end. 27-20. Here the Red Devils have the advantage. Again, trying to work the ball down low, but the post player is doing a great job of denying the pass down low for the Red Devils. And then right there, you cut off the passing lane, forcing a guy to ball fake right there, and he will travel. He just expects his man to be open, but when you are cutting off those passing lanes, Spalding is just forced to completely scrap their offensive plan and just try to plan it on the fly now.
Yeah, we've seen 2 or 3 travels now from Spalding, and that's rare to see in college basketball, really. So obviously, defensively, Eureka is doing something right.
You can see there's just the confusion right there. And now Dakota Bennington will be fouled, and he will head to the free throw line. As the freshman big man Drew Yonker checks in for the Red Devils, giving Jordan Dame his first breather of the contest. Dame with a nice showing there in the first half. So now Bennington will knock down his first free throw. This Spalding team really just looks baffled right now. They came out and won 88-80 over the Red Devils in the first meeting, but this is clearly a different Red Devil team than Spalding encountered the first time around. They tried to go backdoor to Ellis. Yonker stepped up, but Ellis was able to do a good job of altering his shot and putting that one in. Now, Spalding trying to trap there in the corner. A late call on it, but Hank Thomas with the travel right there. 28-22, 2:30 left in the contest here. As a guard for Spalding has checked in, a freshman standing at just 5'8", Brian Tribble. He's come in, he's playing very quickly, and a lot of pressure on the ball. Even on the inbound there, we saw the Red Devils forced to bring another man up to get that one in. Right there, again, another travel by this Spalding Golden Eagle squad.
Yeah, as soon as he checked in, you could immediately feel the intensity from Spalding ramp up a little bit.
Now they're trying to work down low to Bennington, as they will call a travel on Bennington. Looked like he may have just slipped a little bit, lost his footing right there, as that basket will be waved off. Now Tribble will bring the ball up the floor for Spalding. Wiegand still guarding Ellis on the perimeter as Ellis tries to step back baseline jumper. No good, rebounded by Holt. That one tipped away, however, stolen by Juergens. Juergens with 4 men around him, forced to dribble that one out. Great job, great court awareness right there from Juergens to dribble out of trouble right there. However, that ball eventually will be turned over to Spalding. Ellis with a nice look to Holt. Holt goes for the floater. Can't get it to fall, though, and another offensive rebound by Spalding. Nice job there, however, by the Red Devils to utilize that third defender in the baseline. To force a turnover here as the crowd gets into this one, as Bennington hit the floor, and it looked like there was a little activity after the whistle from Dominique Ellis. Bennington, no matter what the upcoming call will be, will head to the free throw line. They will now give a technical to Dominique Ellis. 2 fouls right there for Ellis, as Bennington will head to the free throw line. It looked like right there Ellis just going for the ball. He knocked Bennington down, gets the first foul call. Then again, some extracurriculars didn't stop at the whistle, and he will receive a technical foul. And technical foul is something that can really be a huge momentum swing for any basketball team. This Red Devil team, where it looked like they maybe had just started to slip a little bit, lose a little bit of momentum, look to regain it right here.
Yeah, we've mentioned multiple times tonight, we've seen the Spalding frustrations really mounting, and there it just pours over a little too much.
Yeah, something you hate to see from any team with these high-intensity games. That's where bodies start flying around. Things get a little intense. Things tend to get a little bit chippy there as Bennington will knock down the first free throw. And if you're Spalding, you want to stay in this game. You don't want to let the Red Devils go on a run here. You want to do everything to kill the momentum rather than just give them a boost in the right direction. As Bennington knocks down his pair of free throws from the double bonus, now Hank Thomas will head to the free throw line to take the technical free throws. Knocks down the first one there. Also with the technical, the big swing here, now the Red Devils get a chance at 4 free points, which they will as Hank Thomas knocks down. They also get the ball back here. You just give a team 4 free points and a chance at another shot.
Yeah, it goes from a 6-point game to potentially a 12-point game here in the matter of 30 seconds.
At one possession, giving the Red Devils a chance to double down as Hank Thomas finds Juergens. The nice look there. Juergens just kisses that one off the glass. This Red Devil lead is now up to the largest of the game at 12.
So I guess more like 6 seconds, not 30.
The quick offensive possession there as the Red Devils see an opening and they strike. As now Spalding looking for an answer as they don't want to let this one get out of hand. As that will be a goaltend right there as that shot went up off the rim and it appeared Bennington going for the block, got the backboard right there. Unfortunate, but that will be a basket for the Spalding Golden Eagles. We are under a minute left here in the first half of action as Eureka has a 10-point lead. Juergens now looking to make a man miss at the free throw line. The beautiful move there, the Euro step, puts it up with the left. Juergens has just showed a lot of touch on these last couple of possessions. A guy checked right back in off the bench, showing that he can be a primary scoring threat as well. As now Brendan Holt's shot no good, and the Red Devils will get one final possession here. There is about a half-second differential between the shot and game clock. They were looking to push it in transition right there, but off this inbound, you have to wonder if head coach Chip Wilde tries to get the bucket right off the inbounds play, or do you pull it out and get that last possession?
Yeah, I say no doubt you try to get the layup if you can. If it's not there, pull it out for one last possession.
So they give to Juergens the baseline jumper. 6 quick points from Juergens here in the final minute. As that lead has ballooned to 14 points. Now Spalding will wait for the final possession as the shot clock is off. 10 seconds in counting as you hear the crowd getting into it here as this Red Devil squad has put on a show at home in the last 2 contests. Is that 3 no good? Rebounded by Hank Thomas. And the Red Devils certainly have the advantage heading into half. All the momentum is on their side, and this team is playing to their full potential right now as they have a 14-point lead. I'm Thomas Harrison. Alongside me, Kyle Cashdollar. Thanks for tuning in, and we will take a quick break and be right back at it with a first half recap and a second half preview. Hello and welcome back to the Christine Minotti Bullwinkle Arena and Convocation Center. Here on the beautiful campus of Eureka College, the Eureka Red Devils raced out to a 38-24 advantage there in the first half. I'm Thomas Harrison, alongside me Kyle Cashdollar. Kyle, why don't you give me a little bit of a first half recap and kind of rehash how we jumped out to that lead?
Yeah, we saw some great defense. There was probably a 2 or 3 minute stretch there from Eureka where they were just absolutely dominant on both sides of the ball. And then towards the end of the half, we saw that technical on Spalding that really made this game kind of wide open here at 38-24. It was a 6-point swing that went from a 6-point Eureka lead to a 12 in just a 6-second span on the clock.
Yeah, certainly something that was exciting to watch as we saw Austin Juergens catch fire there at the end of that first half. We saw the turning point where the Red Devils were really able to grow their lead. The technical foul on number 2, Dominique Ellis, was a 4-point swing there that turned into a 6-point swing in a matter of, like you said, 6 seconds. As now Spalding will have the ball to open up the second half, attacking the left side of your screen. They will try to work inside now, something they really struggled to do in that first half. And Troy Amner will be fouled there by Dakota Bennington. You saw him come with the arm swing right there, trying to knock that ball out.
Yeah, and even if he didn't get the arm there, that's just a very obvious foul call. It looked bad.
Yeah, that's one of those fouls, like you mentioned, even if he doesn't get the arm, you see that arm swipe, and the officials are more often than not going to blow the whistle on that one. So now they try to get the shot clock situated once again. 38-24 here, Eureka College with the 14-point advantage. That inbounds pass jumped up, and Bennington will just swipe that one out of the air. Gives it off to Dame as the Red Devils will get their first look on offense here in the second half. Juergens finds Jordan Dame on the cut right there. He fights through 3 defenders, able to get the shot up, and he will be fouled and head to the free throw line. Struggled early in the contest from the free throw line, but has really picked it up and cleaned that up. So now Spalding will be forced to go to the bench for a quick substitution as Troy Amner picked up his 3rd foul. Dame knocks down the first free throw, pushing this lead to 15. He will knock down the pair. 16-point advantage for the Red Devils, 40-24, just 30 seconds into the second half. So now Bendingfield tries to put the moves on. They'll be forced to pull that one back out, and Dominique Ellis will attempt the 3-point attempt. They will rattle around, hit the floor, rebounded by Juergens. Jordan Dame with the ball at the top of the key here. He will give it off to Juergens. Hank Thomas with the hand in his face puts that one up long off the back of the rim, rebounded by Spalding.
One thing we continue to see here defensively is Wiegand on Benningfield. It's a really interesting matchup, and Wiegand's done a great job holding his own.
Yeah, Wiegand, like we talked about, is typically the team's best post defender. But head coach Chip Wilde must have seen something on film that he liked, and he has Wiegand guarding the perimeter. Certainly a guy that's capable of it with his athleticism. As right there, Bennington's layup is not able to fall, but Juergens came flying in high over the top, try to tip that one back in. He will get fouled and head to the line for another pair of free throws. Juergens' first free throw attempt will hit off the left side of the iron, no good. So we see the same starting 5 on the floor for the Red Devils. And Juergens will knock that one down, push the lead to 17. Bendingfield again trying to drive on Wiegand. Wiegand cut him off right there. Now a great job with the help defense right there shifting to where they needed to be, and the Red Devils come up with a steal right there as a beautiful pass from Bennington. An absolute dime, wrapped that one around the defender, gives that one to Juergens, lays it in with the left.
I have absolutely no idea how he saw Juergens. What an unbelievable pass.
The court vision right there, and you can see Spalding calls a timeout as this lead has grown to 19 points. Like you mentioned, Kyle, the court vision and just the pure awareness of the game to see where Juergens was right there. He wrapped that ball around 3 defenders. There's no way he could see where he was passing the ball, but he puts it exactly on the spot. Juergens is there, lays it in for 2. This team, firing on all cylinders, playing their potential, is a beautiful thing to watch as these guys with the athleticism, the talent here, and the hustle, as you will see some highlight reel plays out of these guys. Right now you see him laughing coming out of the break. I don't think Bennington even knows how he did that one. Now Spalding will inbound this one. Benningfield here. Wiegand giving him some space on the perimeter. Benningfield hasn't taken a lot of perimeter shots. As the drive and dish right there, as Montgomery will knock that one down for the Golden Eagles. Now Hank Thomas will drive left off the screen from Jordan Dame. Thought about the 3, and he will be fouled up at the top by Benningfield. A mismatch there that Jordan Dame saw, and he will certainly look to take advantage of. The height, the size, the physicality, he is going to win them all in that matchup against Benningfield. Now Dame will get the screen from Wiegand, the passing lane cut off there as they try to get the ball to Bennington, but with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, look to reset the offense. Juergens there will get called for the travel as he looked to make the move to drive baseline. Unfortunate there, turnover for the Red Devils.
I don't know if I've ever seen so many travels in a men's college basketball game. This is something.
Yeah, interesting to see. It looks like sometimes maybe the floor is a little bit slick. We've seen a couple guys slip and have problems with that. But like you mentioned, Kyle, just something certainly kind of unorthodox. You don't typically see this many travel calls in a collegiate basketball game. As right there, Benningfield looked like he may have almost slipped, and that rebound will be tipped out of bounds. It appeared to be off of Brendan Holt that he gave it the push out of bounds, but they will say it is out of bounds on the Red Devils, and Spalding will get a second chance at the possession. Benningfield tries to go cross court. The baseline jumper will fall for Stephen Gordon. 43-29, 16-40 here remaining in the contest. Wiegand gives the ball to Bennington. Back to basket, he'll turn around, look to make a man miss. Tries to spin back towards the middle of the lane. Puts that turnaround jumper up, no good. Rebounded there by the Eagles. As another baseline jumper will fall for Keith Wallace. And Spalding maybe has found the soft spot in the Eureka defense right there as they keep getting the same look from that baseline spot. Cut the deficit to 12 here with 16 minutes remaining. So now Jordan Dame has the ball in the corner, and he looks to drive baseline. That one no good. Rebounded and tipped right back in by Alex Wiegand. Great job getting the backside board. Now Benningfield takes advantage of a screen there. The soft defense by Wiegand gave him some space, unable to get that one to fall. As Wiegand has really proven that he's going to give Benningfield that space until he knocks one down, and Benningfield has yet to make him pay. So that the high floater rebounded by Spalding. They'll get a third chance of possession here. That one no good, finally rebounded by Dame. Kyle, like you mentioned there, Spalding having a little bit of an advantage, getting a couple rebounds there. Something the Red Devils certainly have to clean up if you want to keep this lead. Now Hank Thomas gets that one to fall. They're putting a couple moves on in the lane. So they go outside to Holt. Holt's jumper no good. Rebounded high off the rim by Bennington.
We're seeing why the matchup of Wiegand versus Benningfield is how it is, because Benningfield really, it doesn't seem that he's confident taking an outside shot, but Wiegand has the long arms to cut down that space if necessary. Benningfield is really wanting to drive inside, and once again, Wiegand's height and length lets him not do that.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Kyle, just he's able to give the space, but then as soon as Benningfield goes up for a shot, he cuts it down. You mentioned the length right there. You look, the long arms of Wiegand as he goes up, lays that one in. Looked like a definite and one opportunity, but a no call there. But again, we see now Benningfield coming down the floor, Wiegand sagging off, and Benningfield tries to drive to the basket, but that's when Wiegand steps up, and he doesn't allow him to get a shot up, force him to kick the ball out. Lead stands at 16 for the Red Devils now, 51-35. Hank Thomas with the long three, knocks that one down with some contact as well. A guy you don't want to let get hot because he will put on a show from the perimeter. Now Wiegand once again, the length there forces the air ball from Benningfield. Now Hank Thomas is off and running. He gets into the lane, drives through traffic. That one no good. Fighting for the rebound there was Juergens, but it appears they will call the foul on him there as Spalding will send 3 substitutions into the contest. There'll be a timeout there, a full timeout from head coach Chip Wilde. As the Red Devils hold on to a 19-point lead here, 54-35, 13:41 left in this second half. Kyle, you mentioned the intensity, transition, and the defense here. What have you seen that you liked from Eureka, and what have you seen from Spalding that you didn't like? What did you see that could be a reason that this Spalding team is so deeply in the hole?
There have been a couple instances for Spalding. It just seems like their frustrations get to be too much for him. Right now in the huddle, we can see one of the players maybe just gotten taken out of the game, just shaking his head, very upset. And we saw that, as I mentioned, at the beginning of the second half, the technical was the boiling point for the team. For Eureka, just all around, they're doing a great job. They could clean up the offensive boards a little better. There have been a few instances where Spalding gets a few too many chances down there. But other than that, all around, they've played a very good game.
Like you mentioned, the body language here from the Spalding huddle, just not something you like to see. Guys getting their heads down, and that can be infectious for your team. That can be where you really shoot yourselves in the foot. And this Eureka team has come out. They have the intensity. The bench is into it here for Spalding. Everyone with their heads down. You can just tell there's anger, but they're not doing anything about it on the floor. Now Hank Thomas will guard a Tribble. Montgomery again with the long three. Looks like he will be the primary shooter down the stretch for Spalding as he gets that one to fall. And Thomas tries to work down low to Bennington. Bennington gets just a little bit too deep underneath the basket. He heads up and gets fouled there by, I believe, Troy Aminer. And if that is true, that would be Aminer's 4th foul.
Yeah, you could tell Bennington could feel the mismatch that he had on his defender, and Thomas did a great job of immediately getting him the ball.
They will call that foul now on Marcus Montgomery, so Aminer will be able to stay in the contest here as Bennington knocks down the first free throw. Again, you mentioned Hank Thomas, an elite shooter, but a guy with great court vision as well, a guy that can drop some dimes and have some highlight reel passes. As Bennington knocks down the pair. Now Spalding trying to work down low as Wiegand guarding down low, and right there, the elite post defender as he was just able to swat that shot back, start the transition, and that fall just short for the Red Devils. So now the Red Devils forced to recover on defense. They tried to trap down there. The basket was good, but it will be waved off as there was some contact on the drive. (56-38) here, Eureka with 12:36 in the contest. That ball poked away, still on the floor, and eventually corralled by Bennington. Bennington with the no-look pass to Hank Thomas. He will lay that one in easily for two. Again, Bennington drawing all the attention on the fast break, able to just find the wide open man right there. As now an immediate three by Spalding, no good, and the Red Devils are off and running again. Tried to thread the needle to Wiegand there, but Spalding just able to get a hand in there to tip it away, but the Red Devils will retain possession here with now a 20-point lead.
Yeah, that's an aggressive pass you can afford to make down 20, or up 20.
Now they give the ball to Juergens. Juergens tries to go baseline, double team there, able to kick that one back out. Jordan Dame with the ball fake, makes a man, give him some space. That three just short, tipped up in the air, and rebounded now by Hank Thomas. Spalding lost here defensively. They were able to reset the Red Devils with a fresh shot clock. This time this ball is out of bounds. The pressure there from Juergens forces another Spalding turnover, and the Red Devils will get this ball back underneath the basket. The Red Devils here at home as of late have done a great job in conference. They are just pushing this lead the entire game. There's no slowing it up. There's no maybe we should use a little bit more clock here. It is all the time. If you get a look at the basket, you take it. So you can see Hank Thomas comes up. It looks like there's an issue with his finger. He will head to the bench as that shot blocked out of bounds. The Red Devils will keep the ball. So now Don Hardaway Jr. checks into the contest for Hank Thomas. And while we keep seeing a lot of the substitutions from Spalding, we saw maybe a few more substitutions than usual from the Red Devils there in the first half, but here in the second half, as Jordan Dame lays that one in on the great inbound pass from Don Hardaway Jr., that is the first substitution the Red Devils have made with Hank Thomas checking out of the game here, and we're almost halfway through the second half.
Yeah, they're really sticking with their guns here, and that's a testament to their conditioning that they can go almost 9 minutes with the same 5 guys on the court.
As that rebound to Holt. He is trying to battle down low, and that one up and in for two. Looked like he may have gotten away with a push off there. Pretty physical matchup down low. But this will once again be a 20-point game. As now we see some substitutions heading to the scores table for Eureka. Jordan Dame floats that one high off the backboard, rebounded by Juergens, and Juergens will be fouled underneath the basket. That first free throw attempt, no good for the Red Devils. Spalding now with 5 team fouls. As we will see Dame and Bennington getting a quick breather. Juergens will make that second free throw attempt, and Dominique Ellis will check back in for the Golden Eagles for number 3, Marcus Montgomery. 21-point lead, and Don Hardaway Jr. here will now pressure the ball all the way up the floor. He and Tribble really seem to have a similar style of play where they're going to be some of the smaller bodies on the floor, but they're going to fly around and be very aggressive. Very good ball handlers, and right there, the aggressive defense. Don Hardaway Jr. forces the turnover there as he forces Tribble to step out of bounds.
I love watching him play defense. It's so much fun to watch. The energy he brings to this team is irreplaceable.
Yeah, these elite defensive point guards seems to be a trend here at Eureka College, whether it be a few years ago in Gregory Kent, last year, the season before in Ryan McElmurray, a guy that returned to the bench as a great motivator, a great defender, and now Don Hardaway Jr. are all very similar in the style of play where they have high-intensity defense. They are guys who will oftentimes be some of the fastest guys on the floor, absolutely flying around, and they just earn every minute they get. Juergens will head back to the free throw line once again now. Spalding with 16 fouls. Juergens misses the front half of his pair. That second free throw attempt will fall, as it is now a 22-point lead for the Red Devils. The step back jumper there from Howard will fall, cutting this lead back down to 20. Now Don Hardaway Jr. feeds the ball inside to Juergens. A little bit of a mismatch down there. Juergens just lost control of the dribble, going for the spin move, and that one will roll out of bounds. Now checking back into the contest for the Golden Eagles, Stephen Gordon will take the spot of Chance Hill. Again, Don Hardaway Jr. is pressuring the ball all the way up the floor. Stribble tries to drive and kick that one. That shot no good. Rebounded by Aminer, and Aminer now will be fouled by number 34, Drew Yonker. The deeper we get into this game, the easier it is to notice the trend here with those Eureka substitutions. Really seems like Coach wants the entire starting five, or maybe just he goes all five or just one, and you see 4 bench guys. As right now we see Jalen Jose check into the game for Austin Juergens, and now Alex Wiegand is the lone starter remaining on the floor. He's really gone with more of the line change method here, although not as frequent as you may expect when you go with the style like that. But these guys, like you mentioned, Kyle, well conditioned, and they have proved they can play some long minutes.
Yeah, you know, if you know you have the chemistry between 5 guys really solid, of course you want to keep them together as long as possible, and it seems that this strategy is working for Coach Wilde.
You mentioned the chemistry right there. Now you get some guys checking in off the bench, and a beautiful pass right there, a lob to Drew Yonker. Talk about the chemistry right there. Those are some guys that maybe get a lot of minutes together in practice on a shift like that, and there it shows as Eureka is up 64-42. Everyone checking into the game is just making a fantastic contribution at this point. Don Hardaway Jr. in the corner now, looking to get the ball down low to Yonker. Now Jalen Jose will have the ball at the top of the key, try to make a man miss. He will step back, that one off the backboard, no good. Rebounded by Gordon. Now Spalding looks to push the ball right there as Dominique Ellis gets a 3 to fall. .849 and counting here in the contest as Drew Yonker now with the baseline jumper from the left wing right there. Gets that one to fall, the lefty shot from that baseline. Dominique Ellis right in the same spot he hit the last 3. This time he will pass it up, or gets it right back, and he will put it up from the same spot. Gets that one to fall. Back-to-back 3s there by Dominique Ellis. Putting this lead back into the teens for Spalding as Eureka looks to bump it back up above the 20 mark. Right on cue, Don Hardaway Jr. kisses that one off the glass for 2.
You know, as you were talking about the line change strategy, sometimes you might expect 4 non-starters to come in the game and the lead might slip away a little bit, but it has not at all. They are doing a great job of really holding their own in this game.
I think the key word you used when describing it last time, like you mentioned, was the chemistry right there. From the starting 5, you have that chemistry. Well, these guys, talk about guys in practice, they probably see a lot of minutes together on a lot of shifts. Whether you're going full court, you may see the starting 5 against another group. These guys who check in and play meaningful minutes, but when one of them checks onto the floor, maybe you just don't have that same level of chemistry. When you have an entire group of them on the floor, they really don't skip a beat. Like you mentioned, these guys are a very talented group, a lot of guys that could plug into the starting lineup, and if they got that time to get that chemistry, would still show a great stat line, would still be a great asset for this team. But when you have a second line, it can be very useful for you. As that one will be called a block on Spalding as Jalen Jose looked to make a little step back move. Now Jalen Jose will go to the free throw line. That free throw no good. 68-48 here, 7.5 minutes left in the contest. Sir Dominique Ellis, a great job there by Drew Yonker cutting off the baseline. And he was straight up, tried to keep the feet moving, but Keith Wallace got the call right there, and he will head to the free throw line for Spalding. So once again, the trend, like we saw late in that first contest between the two women's teams, the fouls tend to pick up a little bit later in the second half, as now guys are tired. These guys are playing a lot of long minutes, and while you may not see it affecting them offensively, sometimes defensively, you just are maybe a half step behind, just not quite where you were to start the game.
You know, I even noticed that real early on in the second half. It took several minutes to just play a minute and a half of game time. But, yeah, it's just natural, like you said. In the second half of a game, guys are going to get tired, so they're going to be a little slower and lead the fouls.
Yeah, that fatigue starts to show. And, again, it's not like you look out and you say, oh, these guys are dragging. They're just struggling out there. It's just an issue of you're maybe a half step behind where you were, and right there, that's an instance where you see a guy maybe wasn't quite as quick as he was to start the contest. Now Keith Wallace will step to the free throw line. That one no good, rebounded by Kyle Henderson. Gives it to Jalen Jose, who finds Jordan Dame looking for the backdoor cut from Don Hardaway Jr. They will call the travel there on Dame. Looked like he lost the ball for just a second. It was enough to get that extra step in. There'll be a turnover for the Red Devils. Now Spalding looking to get something going here quickly as they have 7 minutes left on the clock, and that three will fall for the Golden Eagles. Now Spalding coming out with pressure on the inbound, trying to double team and trap right there, but Jalen Jose finding Dame, and they will break that press with ease. So now the Red Devils will reset the offense here, 10 seconds on the shot clock. And head coach Chip Wilde, it appears, will call a timeout. It looked like Don Hardaway Jr. slipped a little bit, could have lost the ball there, but Chip Wilde calling the timeout. Smart call right there. As you see, the Red Devils still have 4 timeouts. There's no point in saving them here. It's a use them or lose them situation. With the 16-point lead, this game's certainly not over, but you can certainly manage the clock much more to your advantage when you have a large lead like this.
Yeah, and it was a smart timeout taken there, too. You could see he was a little distressed trying to handle the ball around a few guys. Smart, just take it. As you said, you have plenty. You're not going to use up 4 more in only 6 minutes.
As now the starting 5 is back in for the Red Devils, as Hank Thomas's shot was partially blocked, and Spalding comes away with it. As now they find Dominique Ellis. That is his spot on the left wing. Knocks it down again. Has made 3 straight from that spot. So now the Red Devils breaking the press here from Spalding. Jordan Dame will give it back to Hank Thomas. Spalding has cut the lead to 13. The Red Devils starting 5 back in the contest. Bennington drives by. Ellis puts that one up. Just rattles out a bad roll there for the Red Devils. Now Ellis trying to drive to the basket. He uses the body to create some separation. Lays that one in for 2. This lead now 11 for the Red Devils. Now Dakota Bennington will give it to Wiegand on the perimeter. And Dame is in the far corner. Hank Thomas tries to drive through traffic right there, and he will get called for the foul as he tried to pick that ball up, and that a pretty clear one. And now we talked about the large lead. The lead cut to 11 here, much more manageable for Spalding. Coach Chip Wilde takes a timeout, and here you just have to reset. Kyle, if you're head coach Chip Wilde, what are you telling these guys in the timeout?
I'd say get back to exactly what you were doing. I noticed the past couple possessions they're playing more spread out. It seems like a 5 wide and go out of a set from there. I'd like to stay aggressive, keep on them, rather play to win instead of play not to lose. Because Spalding, very obviously, they've got a few shooters that can knock them down and cut a lead right away. So you got to stay aggressive, and you can't play not to lose.
Exactly right there. Sometimes teams just get a little tentative when they have the lead. Like you mentioned, I really like the way you said that, Kyle, playing not to lose rather than playing to win. And right there, it looked like the team maybe got a little bit hesitant. But coming out of timeout, you reset, you get back to what you're doing, and you get aggressive. You put that foot back on the gas pedal.
Yeah, and I completely understand the 5-out offensive set, but I just think it's a little too early. They started with about 6 minutes left in the game. I'd rather start at about 3 or 4 minutes.
You do see at a point you do want to start getting a little bit deeper into possessions again, certainly not passing on any good looks. But right there, just maybe pulling the dogs off a little bit too much.
Yeah, at this point especially, only up 11 now, I think you have to get back to the aggressive offense you were running.
As Keith Wallace knocks that down the baseline jumper, and this lead is back to just single digits. And now you have to think 4:30 on the clock. I would say the next minute and a half is going to be very key to this ball game and the way it plays out.
Yeah, you can see Spalding starting to come on a little bit, but there's absolutely no reason to panic for the Red Devils. They still have a 9-point lead with just 4.5 remaining. You just have to stay aggressive on both ends of the ball, or on both ends of the court.
As now Spalding going on a run here, the lead down to 7, 68-61. As now the Red Devils will look to break the press. Jordan Dame just facing some light pressure here as he brings the ball across the timeline. Now Juergens getting the screen from Wiegand, looking for Wiegand to cut right there, and that ball was tipped out of bounds by Spalding. Red Devils' Hank Thomas will inbound this one from the baseline. He finds Juergens, the open man, finds Wiegand. He tries to put a man on a poster right there, but Ellis will foul him before he can make it happen. Wiegand getting aggressive right there as it was a 2-on-1. He stepped up, tried to throw that one down, but Ellis gets up and makes sure it can't happen. Eureka now also in the bonus. It's Wiegand's first attempt off the iron, no good. Second attempt, no good. He misses the pair, and Spalding will get the ball back down 7. Now Ellis with the ball, guarded by Wiegand. Wiegand still guarding out on the perimeter. As a deep 3 there from Spalding, no good. Not sure exactly what Spalding was thinking there. You love the confidence, but that 3 would have been deep in NBA range.
Wow, yeah, that was in the corner of the volleyball lines. Holy, wow.
As a nice pass there from Bennington, the great adjustment in the air, tipped out. Hank Thomas able to tightrope the sideline right there and pull that one back out, get a fresh shot clock here as now he will try to drive. He is fouled on the drive, but he will head to the free throw line with Eureka in the bonus. Hank Thomas, a very good free throw shooter, a guy you love to see on the line as you get late in the game. You can see now the Spalding head coach talking to number 20, Joby Howard right there.
Yeah, and he's a freshman, and that makes sense. Maybe a freshman coming into his first year of college basketball. Maybe he was probably his high school's best player, a stud, and was able to take that shot. College is a little different, you know. There's a learning curve.
As right there, you can see the frustration from the head coach because they weren't deep in the shot clock. there was time to get a much better shot. And while he's wide open, you're wide open for a reason. It's because that's a range where you don't expect anyone to pull from. Now Dominique Ellis tries to drive and kick to the baseline. Keith Wallace has been automatic from the baseline as he puts that one in, keeps this deficit at 7. You can see 241, Eureka up 70-63. Now there's some more strategy involved. As now for Eureka, again, you can't pass up wide open shots, but you've got to start burning a little bit of clock here. Of course, points are the priority. That comes before anything, but you burn a little bit of clock, but you still have to set up your offensive plays so you can get things going late in that possession and get a good look. So you're not just holding the ball late in the possession and then forcing a shot.
Yeah, now might be the time to set up that five out offensive set. But like you said, you got to stay aggressive with it. You cannot just waste all the shot clock and chuck up a 3. You have to work to get a good shot. And if you take up most of the shot clock, that's a plus.
This Eureka team certainly all about strategy here in the late going. Looks like Spalding, a much different attitude on the bench than we saw down by 19 the last time they were in the timeout. Here the momentum with Spalding, but Eureka still up by 7. This is a lead you can hold on to, obviously looking to extend it here, but 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. Spalding still facing quite the uphill battle. Now Eureka will inbound facing the press. They get it to Hank Thomas, who goes cross court to Bennington, and now it's 3-on-2 for the Red Devils. As he finds Alex Wiegand, the great look again, the no-look pass, forces the defenders to pull to one side, finds the man on the backside as Wiegand was just camped on the block right there, puts it in for 2.
Yeah, you absolutely could not draw up that press break any better.
As now Bennington trying to sell that one, he gets called for the block, as that would have been Ammoner's 5th foul. Certainly trying to get him out of the game. A big body down low for the Golden Eagles. Now Ammoner heads to the line, knocks down his first free throw attempt.
You know, I mentioned earlier in the year during a women's game that we saw a Knox player that might have won an Oscar. Well, right there, Bennington maybe was an Oscar nominee, didn't win it though.
Yeah, the great look. You love the intensity right there. You knew exactly what he's trying to do, just unable to get the call right there. As Eureka, I will say with the athleticism and the ball handling ability of the guards right now, really Wiegand the only guy you don't want bring the ball up the floor. They have been very successful breaking presses. Right there, Bennington tries to finish with a lot of contact. Juergens there to clean that one up. Puts it in for 2 as now the Red Devils are back up by 9, under 2 minutes to play. And great defense there by Jordan Dame. He goes straight up. And then it appeared Bennington was clearly fouled by Dominique Ellis. And now what looks to be an extremely late whistle, as they will finally call that one on Ellis as he sent Bennington to the floor. And it took so long to get that call, not exactly sure why, and it wasn't even the nearest official that ended up making the call.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It was the official across the court. The official right in front of the play just stood there. I don't understand how the official right there missed it. It's like the Saints-Rams game this weekend.
As now Dominique Ellis will check out of the contest. So I believe that was his 5th foul, and he will head to the bench for the remainder. Marcus Montgomery checks back in.
Fortunately for the Red Devils, though, the official across the court was able to pick that one up.
As now there is still some confusion. Now Bennington will step to the free throw line there. It almost looked like maybe the reason the whistle came so late was because the official on the far side of the court expected the official on top of it to make the call. But then Bennington hit the floor on what would have been a travel situation before the official finally picked that one up, made the right call, sending Bennington to the line. As he will knock down the pair, a big pair of free throws there as this lead back to 11.
Yeah, and that's a huge little swing there in the past 30 minutes or 30 seconds to a minute there for the Red Devils, getting that lead, stretching it out even more.
As that shot No good, and it appears now, I believe, Troy Aminer will foul out of the game. So maybe not, that will just be his 4th foul. Regardless, Jordan Dame will head back to the free throw line for a pair of free throws with Eureka in the double bonus. Jordan Dame knocks down the first free throw attempt, extending this lead to 12. Down the stretch here, it looked like Spalding may be able to cut this deficit back into a 1-possession game, but the Red Devils did a great job coming out of that last timeout with all the momentum and really changing up their strategy. Now Keith Wallace will attempt a 3 from the left wing, knock that one down. Keith Wallace shooting a very high percentage tonight for the Spalding Golden Eagles, a guy that came off the bench, has certainly made an impact. Now Bennington breaks the press himself, tries to get that one down low to Juergens, but that will be tipped out of bounds.
Yeah, Bennington did a great job there, really looking off the defense with his eyes. We saw the opposite happen. We saw Hank go to Bennington across the court in a previous press break. There, the defender anticipated that, and Bennington was able to look him off and just take off down the sideline.
Yeah, certainly a guy with the ability and athleticism to break a press by himself. A tall, long guard there, but he is certainly going to be one of the fastest guys on the floor. Great ball handling skills, and like you mentioned, even him just being able to look off the defenders right there, as he had a double team where it looked like he could have been trapped on the sideline, but just by pulling the ball out and just looking cross court, he forced the defenders to slack off.
Yeah, exactly. The defenders on him in the double team could have had him trapped, but it's like they just stopped playing defense because they just assumed he was going across the court.
And that's where that play a few possessions ago comes back to bite Spalding, where you saw Hank Thomas get trapped and he threw it cross court to Bennington, where the Red Devils then had a 3-on-1. So you certainly think in that situation, he looks to go cross court, and that's the first thing that pops in to the defender's head. They don't want to get burnt again on the press break, and then right there it comes back to bite him. Hank Thomas will inbound for the Red Devils as he just gives that one to Alex Wiegand. Wiegand just tries to flip it back to Thomas, but that one will be a turnover. As again, what appeared to be a foul right there. Again, what seemed just kind of a late whistle. And Jordan Dame gets called for the foul. And now for Spalding, Stephen Gordon will head to the free throw line. Eureka up 77-69 with under a minute left in the contest.
Yeah, it's just been an overall very nice game for the Red Devils. They've done everything they need to take control of the game from start to finish.
As now the second free throw attempt will fall, a 7-point lead for the Red Devils, under a minute remaining. See, this time Bennington trying to use the head fake to get the defender off. They didn't go for the trap this time, but right there the cross-court pass, a dangerous one, tipped out of bounds. Lucky for the Red Devils that they'll retain possession. Now Juergens will just give this one to Hank Thomas. Now to Dakota Bennington. The Red Devils looking to use the last 20 seconds of the shot clock here. As that pass, another dangerous one, looking for the give and go right there, with the Spalding defender doing a good job getting his hand in the passing lane.
I'm a little surprised that Spalding isn't fouling already. I know Eureka has to get a shot up because of the shot clock, but if they take it down all the way, they only have 28 seconds to work with. I feel like even down 7, that's too little to work with.
Yeah, certainly an interesting plan there as Hank Thomas tries to go around the world for the lay-in. No good. And Juergens will be fouled and head to the free throw line. That could be a big one. Like Kyle mentioned there, interesting to see them wait so long. Obviously that one, that was not an intentional foul right there. They weren't going for it. That just happened to come with the speed of the game. But you have to think, down by 7, you try to foul early, you're going to get into the free throw game regardless of when you start fouling. Why not try to do it now when you have some more time to cut the deficit?
Yeah, you're down a minimum. If Juergens makes this last free throw here, you're down a minimum of 3 possessions, and that's without fouling and Eureka going to the line. So I just don't understand waiting so long to foul.
As now with Juergens knocking down the pair, it is a 9-point, lead for the Red Devils. And now Don Hardaway Jr. checks into the game for defense at the point position. As that layup no good, but will be put back in by Spalding. And now the Red Devils, it appears Spalding trying to foul right there, but they're not getting the call. And now it looks like the Red Devils may just be able to dribble this one out. As not sure what the plan was there from Spalding as they let almost 20 seconds tick off the clock.
Yeah, that was a real half-hearted effort there to get a foul.
Right there, about 15 seconds by the time everything was said and done, ticked off the clock. You saw somebody go for the foul around half court on Don Hardaway Jr., and he just kind of blew through it, and they got no call, but then they let the Red Devils dribble around the floor for quite some time before actually getting the solid foul. Those free throws will not fall for the Red Devils, but it will not matter in the end here as there are 4 seconds left. And that shot thrown up as the final horn will sound, and the Red Devils split the men's-women's doubleheader with Spalding as the men come away with a 79-72 victory here in the Reagan, a big conference win for this squad. Certainly exciting to see this team fire on all cylinders at this point in the season. Make sure you check out the post-game recap for both contests as well as the write-ups coming later tonight at EurekaRedDevils.com. And make sure you check out this team before the season is over as you're running out of time. They will be on the road at Westminster before returning home on the 30th to face Blackburn. Try to come check them out. If not, make sure you tune in and listen to us. Once again, I'm Thomas Harrison alongside me, Kyle Cashdollar. Thanks for tuning in.